few weeks ago, Nintendo woke up in a cold sweat at 3 AM and said, "Yep, the rumors are true, be quiet." The Switch's successor was announced to be happening soon and will be unveiled at the end of this year. I remember seeing rumors for the Switch 2 back in like 2021, and I swore I heard people saying that the Switch would end in 2022. Get those people an Exorcist. But now I can see why it's happening now. Nintendo's lineup of games this year consists of remakes and random third parties, so it's pretty clear why the Switch 2 is happening soon. But what exactly will the Switch 2 be? What games will come with it? When will it release? Today I will answer all these questions with half-baked answers. Subscribe for more videos like this, let's get started. Firstly, what is the console going to be called? Nintendo's console sequels in the past have had it somewhat rough with sales, and part of the reason for this is down to the name. The Wii U only sold 13 million copies, and that's due to U. The U in the name, and you. You did not buy this console. So people thought that the Wii U was some kind of accessory for the Wii, especially since the Wii was already an accessory-heavy console. The 3DS isn't nearly as bad, as it sold 75 million copies. This is because people actually knew what it was, and since the DS was insanely successful, people would want to buy this too. So taking all these previous endeavors Nintendo has done, we know that the name not only needs to be unique enough to stand on its own, but it also has to have the word Switch in there somewhere. But it also can't be too vague of a name, and it has to show what the console actually is. So I went with the Nintendo Switch Max. I've named it this for a few reasons. 1. The console is a normal Nintendo Switch, but upgraded to the Max. 2. It is unique, so it won't be confused with the normal Switch. And 3. People named Max will easily be drawn in. So for the rest of this video, I will call this console the Switch Max. But what exactly will this console even be like? Nintendo's had a rough history with the power of their consoles. This is because they like to focus on the more fun and gimmicky side the console has to offer. The PlayStation and Xbox always has had the stronger consoles, however I don't really think Nintendo gives a damn about this. But since this is an upgraded Switch, they need to make some adjustments. Firstly, I think the internal storage will jump from 32GB to 64GB. One of the biggest criticisms of the base Switch is its lack of storage. If you were to buy lots of third-party games for the Switch, there's a good chance you would get nowhere. So I think having double the storage will result in half the screaming. Next, I think the RAM will be upgraded from 4GB of RAM to 6GB. This jump isn't that tremendous, but this is Nintendo we're talking about. They probably think RAM stands for really anti-mandatory. I think the battery life of the Switch in handheld mode will step up from 4 to 9 hours to 6 to 11 hours. I really hope this is upgraded because my current Switch that I've had for 7 years lasts like 25 minutes now. And finally, the age-old question. Will the Switch Max be backwards compatible with Switch games? Yes, this is a no-brainer move. I don't know why people are concerned over this. If it isn't backwards compatible, I am not getting this console. Now I know all this junk will result in a more expensive price for the Switch Max, but let me dream. Will the Switch Max herself come with anything new in terms of hardware? Well, I think it will add a camera and a microphone. These honestly feel and don't feel necessary at this point, but for a handheld hybrid like this, I think they're quite important. The screen will also increase in size by about 1 centimeter in length. I know, shocking. The Switch Joy-Cons to me are like moths. I don't like them. Okay, I don't think they're that awful, but man, these things are a disappointment. Back whenever I heard about these controllers for the first time, I was amazed at the possibilities they could provide, especially for multiplayer. I remember going to a Smith's toy store, and me and my brother got a chance to play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch in handheld form, and we played multiplayer with a Joy-Con each. This pretty much sold me on the Switch. 7 years later, I look at these things and ask why. So I have upgraded the Joy-Cons. Here is how they previously looked, and here is how they look now. As you can see, the left Joy-Con has a D-pad instead of the normal buttons. This will be nicer for single player, but if you are using just this controller, it may not be easy to use. But to that I say, what are you doing using only the left Joy-Con as a controller? Both of the Joy-Cons will also come with a scroll wheel. There have been plenty of leaks saying that a scroll wheel of some sort will be present on the controller. Sakurai has even asked Nintendo to do this, so it could very well happen. On top of all that, the size will be adjusted to be more comfortable in your hands. As for the Pro Controller, it will also get a scroll wheel and will have analog triggers. This could be really cool for games like Mario Kart or F-Zero. Lastly, the battery life of this controller will be increased from 40 hours to 70 hours. The reason for this is the Wii U Pro Controller was 70 to 80 hours, and seeing as the Wii U was an upgrade to the Wii, I think the same approach will be taken here. Other than that, I don't think much needs to be changed about the Pro Controller. It's pretty much perfect. The user interface for the base Switch has received some polarizing reception. For me, I really like the simple design of the Switch menu. I don't think the layout itself needs to change, it's the design that needs to be. The Switch took a more corporate approach when making the menus. There's no music, no themes, or no flair. So I'm going to improve it. Ba-bam! This redesign focuses more on the color red, as that's the trademark color of the Switch and Nintendo as a whole. The background will also be more appealing. There will also be toggleable themes to choose from. I've also added a dedicated Me button, because having to navigate to the menu was quite weird. On top of that, there will be music composed for this menu. I actually made this song myself, and if you want to hear the full version, check out and subscribe to our music channel. Just don't click on any of the other music present there. This redesign should satisfy more people than the original did. Alright. It's time to talk about the games. I have cooked up some ideas for upcoming games the Switch Max can have. Firstly, it's a bold idea, and it probably won't happen, but a Splatoon trilogy. People are missing Splatoon 1, and Splatoon 2 and 3 will eventually get shut down too. So how about we treasure these games and keep them untouched? Next, for a Zelda game, The Legend of Zelda... Something of the Something. Alright, so what I think will happen for the title will follow what Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom did, and used of the, to show that these two games were both the same kind of game. I think, however, they will make a completely new map, as it would be too derivative to use the same one for a third time in a row. And considering the success of the other two games, Nintendo would be out of their mind to not make another open world Zelda again. As for the 3D Mario game, Mario Odyssey 2. I know, amazing box art. I feel like a sequel to Mario Odyssey was a no-brainer, but I guess it wasn't for the original Switch. Mario Odyssey has had more potential than any other Mario game. Sure, Mario Galaxy 3 would be pretty hype, but it would be unfair for Galaxy to get another game but not Odyssey. Odyssey 2 could be insane, with brand new levels to explore, new enemies to capture, and new missions to complete. For the 2D Mario, I don't have any real ideas on what they could do. However, I want to emphasize how I think a Mario Wonder 2 could be a bad idea. I think that Mario Wonder should be a game that stands on its own and doesn't get oversaturated just like how New Super Mario Bros. Did. Especially if it got a game style in Mario Maker, which I'm also not too bored with the idea of. Metroid Prime 4 I think is almost guaranteed to happen since it has been in the work for nearly 8 years, so now is a good stopping point for it on the Switch Max. For Smash Bros, I have already listed ideas for a potential Smash 6 in a previous video, so if you want more details you can see that. Lastly, I'm going to quick fire through some other ideas that I have. Mario Kart will indeed be a brand new game, but I might go in depth in that in a video in the future. Subscribe if you'd want to see that. Since Kirby's Return to Dreamland got ported over to the Switch, I think that one from the 3DS will come over to the Switch Max. Planet Robobot is loved by many people, so I think that will be the one they will choose. A 3D Kirby will take center stage, however, since they have the basics down for Kirby in 3D. A Pikmin, Xenoblade, Pokemon, and Animal Crossing game will eventually happen at some point too. And Angry Birds. Finally, the release date. When will this console come out? Plenty of Nintendo consoles in the past have released in November. This is due to it being near Christmas, so sales will be quicker than normal. So I'm gonna round it up and say that it will release around November 16th. Mainly because it's my birthday then. And that is all the predictions, hopes, and ideas I have for a Nintendo Switch 2. Give me your ideas in the comments and subscribe for more videos like this.